What up, y'all, and happy Friday. It's your girl, UC Kayla, and I am back with another review, y'all. Today, we are getting all into Zatima Season 1, Episodes 7 and 8. Episode 7 was entitled Trouble at Home, and 8 was about last night. But before we get all the way into it, thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you love Zatima, if you love sisters, if you want to talk about TV, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, please remember, guys, to comment. Y'all know I love when y'all comment. I feed off of that because I want to make sure I'm not just talking to my phone. Comment, like, and share. Share if you like the content, guys. And I really appreciate the love and support. For all my new people, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. All right, y'all, we're going to get into it. I'm not going to hold y'all long. I told y'all before, we won't be doing a scene-by-scene breakdown like the old UC Kayla videos. For time's sake, I'm going to give y'all my top 5 moments of the 2 episodes. I may give you an honorable mention, and then we'll get into what I think. Well, maybe not full-on predictions because I honestly don't know. My only prediction is that obviously they're going to get married. They're going to get engaged because we saw that at the end of the episode. But anyway, we'll get to that. I'll start you off with the synopsis. Let's go. All right. Episode number 7 was entitled Trouble at Home. And it says, and these are the BET Plus synopsis, not IMDb or anything like that. And it says, Fatima contemplates her future after a big argument with Zach. Angela feels suspicious of Bryce after a boys' night out. And Zach's brother Jeremiah asked for an expensive favor. Y'all can tell by my face I'm gonna have something to say about that. All right, and episode 8 was entitled About Last Night. Zach welcomes a controversial new tenant. Bryce's misunderstanding leads to an awkward conversation, and Fatima and Zach have a difficult conversation about their relationship. I would say all those synopses were spot on. All right, y'all. So at number 1, my number 1 moment, and these are not in order of how it happened necessarily or whatever, just like how it sticks out in my mind. So number 1 was that argument when Fatima was trying to leave the house to go stay with Angela and Zach pulled up, baby. And they was going back and forth about that glitter, and Fatima got bucked for a second. I was clutching my pearls. I was actually a little bit scared. But the reason why I enjoyed that scene is not because obviously as a Zatima fan, no, I don't want to see them arguing, but they needed to get that stuff out there. Sometimes you just keep stuff bottled up, get it out there. Fatima finally gets an understanding of why Zach was so upset seeing the picture of she and Ian. She understands where Zach is coming from. Like, you should have told me that. And even though Fatima didn't take much accountability on that end, even towards the end of episode 8, I feel like she knows that at this point. I wanted to see her take some more accountability. And then we have Zach having to face that Fatima knew about him at the party wilding out, which he needed to face because he was wrong. So it was like both of them were faced with their wrongs. Zach, they ultimately in that argument itself did not take much accountability on either person. It was just like, well, you did this, well, you did this, well, you did this. You know, that's how you know you're really in love, because they going back and forth and they actually care. If you don't care about somebody, you'd be like, it is what it is. But I thought it was a good clearing argument so that, yeah, when they came back with cooler heads, obviously they were able to really get the issues out there. That was my number 1 moment. Coming in at number 2, Bryce and Zach. Listen, and I want to preface this by saying I'm not caring at all about Bryce's sexual preference. If he end up being gay, bi, or whatever, that's Angela business and Tyler Perry business. But my thing is this: why have this man, Bryce, be in a relationship with Fatima's bestie? We're trying to develop characters, so they both do need those outside friends. Not only is he in a relationship with Fatima bestie, but he becomes a good friend to Zach, which Zach needs friends and people outside of the sister circle, and his weird brother, and homeboys, who was also his business partner. And Zach needs to grow and develop business so this stock money can keep making money for him, because he had to, pull some out so he won't be investigated. So it's just like, why ruin, like, Bryce is actually a really pivotal character because he and Zach had their own relationship and purpose outside of Angela. Now, Angela was like icing on the cake, but now she's like an extra binding layer. I hope I'm saying this right. That is necessary for like this, you know, the double couple things, like on Martin, when you had Martin and Gina and Tommy and Pam. But when Pam and Tommy broke up, it wasn't a huge deal because that was still Martin homeboy because he wasn't trying to sleep with him. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, all I'm saying is I don't understand why Tyler Perry decided to make this turn in the script. Because even though Zach is cool, Bryce is not completely cool. And I feel like I picked up on that. Y'all can let me know in the comments what you think. But I'm like, eventually this is going to come to a head. It's not going to work out like that. But we'll see. I could be wrong, but I just think this is very messy. Once he had that type of feeling or reaction to Zach talking about Bryce, can you just go back to being the same? Can we pretend like this never happened? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we'll see. And y'all saw in the trailer that Bryce is gonna knock Zach. Zach is gonna knock Bryce out. He gonna punch him out. So it's just like something obviously is gonna happen. So anyway. We'll see. Is Zach going to lose a business partner and a homeboy, or are he going to be able to punch him in the face and they can move past? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he'll knock some sense into him. All right. At number 3, y'all, we have Zach's creepy brother, Jeremiah. Why he got to be so weird? Like, he can be shady and no good, but he's like legit weird. And the vibes that I get from this man, no, I'm not rocking with Jeremiah. Zatima don't even hardly want to speak to him. I'm like, ugh, this Zach brother, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, he said his family wasn't no good. So that wasn't a shock how his brother and mama's coming out the woodworks. Even though, like Zach said, y'all ain't have nothing for me when I was broke. Y'all didn't call me, you know, y'all didn't have nothing to do with me. I get that part, but it's just the fact that he's like super creepy on top of all that, and how he was like pacing around the house and eyeing Zatima and kept making comments. I'm like, ugh, you know, it's a no for me. But anyway, that was my third because it was just like, that really stuck out in my mind. Like, that guy who was acting, he did a wonderful job because I legit think he's creepy. And I'm trying to see where this is going to go. I kind of feel like, is he going to come back and rob Zach? Like, I feel like this obviously is not over. And then you talking about you need $10,000 out of nowhere, and they're like, oh, you got this, you got champagne, oh, you got it. How much you driving a Porsche? It's just like, why are you counting my money? You know what I'm saying? And then Zach seems to not really be able to stand up to him. So I feel like we're going to get some deeper backstory as well. That's just my opinion. I can be wrong. We'll see. Tyler Perry will throw a character in there, and then you never see him again. So we'll see. All right, y'all. At number 4, I have Deja moving in / meeting with Zatima. Zach already knew he messed up. And I said this in my last review, that wasn't going to work out. But he knew he messed up. At least he did call Valerie and try to undo what he did when he shouldn't have did it at that party. But it's done. So now Deja's moving in. Deja meets Zatima. Zatima immediately peeps game. That's my girl. Recognizes her from that picture. Gets the information she needs to get. Also basically lets Deja know, play with your mammy, don't play with me. Like, I'll keep it cute, but don't play with me. And the fact that they just still went behind Fatima's back and tried to come on to Zach that next day. Was that the next day? No, that was literally later that same day, because she came back in the morning. Excuse me, y'all. She came back in the morning, and then Zach was leaving that evening for them to go to dinner. So literally that same day, still tried him. But talking about she was trying to be nice to Zatima and acting like she was cool, but then gonna tell Zach, oh, I won't tell. Yeah, Miss Deja, you got to go. I don't know how we gonna fix this in the next 2 episodes, but you got to go because this ain't it. So anyway, that was my number 4 moment because I just could not believe that she was actually moving in. But then the fact that she moved in, then that lady, she's doing a really wonderful job. I think her name Jasmine. She's doing a really wonderful job at acting because she was giving them 2 dudes a real hard time. Somebody on Twitter tweeted, and if you're not following me on Twitter, I'm at that girl Kayla D. But somebody tweeted like she giving them a real hard time over a 6-month lease. Exactly. So either we're gonna ride these 6 months out, and she's gonna be like the villain for 6 months, or we're gonna find a way to fix this. Well, Tyler Perry's gonna find a way to fix it. So we'll see. All right, and at number 5, y'all, I have Zach and Fatima and Ian at dinner. So the reason why I put this in the 5th spot is because I want it to be the thing to close out with this. So as much as I love Fatima, and y'all know I love Fatima, and I stand her and I ride for Fatima, all 10 toes down for Fatima. But why would you have Ian come to this dinner, ma'am? That was crazy. And I know it's not her. I know it ain't Crystal. I know it ain't even, it's how Tyler wrote the storyline. But I was like, what was that supposed to do? I felt like Zach, like, what? What are we doing? Like, she literally had this man pop up at the dinner talking about he live over the restaurant. Zach keep asking you who you texting. You saying you texting him. And, I mean, you never answer who you texting. But then we finally figure out you texting him. And y'all having these issues because you were not forthcoming with information about this dude. Now, on the other hand, I do understand that it was supposed to be like a clearing up thing. Like, hey, I'm shooting my shot at her, but I'm letting you know in her face that I'm going to tell you the truth. She don't want me. She said, we're not going there. I get that, but it could have been done like a different way. I don't know. Maybe she could have been like, hey, can he, I don't know, meet us on the way out the restaurant and just dap you up outside and let you know. I don't know. I don't even know if the other person needs to be involved because, again, in real life, do people really get down like that? I never have, but whatever. But yeah, it was super weird. And then he kept going on and on. It was like he was clearing the air. Ian was like clearing the air / shooting his shot at the same time. Fatima still hasn't cleared up this mess with Ian mama. I'm just like, this is super messy and unresolved. And then for Zach to propose, I thought that was crazy and unrealistic. Not that I'm not super excited for it. Because when people propose, you don't get married that next day. Well, you can, but a lot of times people don't get married that next day. So they still have time to work out their issues. But I was just like, in real life, if you brought that dude to that dinner, would that happen? Y'all let me know in the comments. Like, did that make sense to y'all? In real life, you just brought this dude to the dinner that we're having an issue about. That ring would have mellowed out and chilled out in my pocket for a couple weeks until we got past this. Because what? But then he jump up and propose. And it's like, I understand she was trying to make a point like, you don't want to lose me. And as much as Fatima have put up with that, yes, she deserves to kind of one-up him in a way of, I'm adding value to you in a way that you should appreciate no matter how much money you make. I get that, but I was just like, I don't know. It was the way it was done. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. This is, again, it's just my opinion. And I'll give an honorable mention. I really enjoyed the scene at the boxing gym when Zach was beating Nathan up on the low, getting his licks back for how Nathan's been acting. And y'all saw how quick Tony switched it up. I tweeted, I was like, Tony, I don't know if I'm buying how fast Tony switched it up. He just saw how Zach was beating Nathan up and he didn't want no smoke with Zach. Because I'm like, now you was the man when the thing started, when the show started and they was at the basketball court. He was talking about, you get married, your life is over and da-da-da-da-da. That was Tony. He took the picture. Now it's just like hands off like, oh no, this is real love. When did you come to terms with that? But anyway, that's my opinion on the episodes. I obviously thoroughly enjoyed them. There were a couple things. There's always going to be a couple things that me and Tyler don't agree on, but I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I'm going to continue to support the show. I'm a fan of the show. I loved it. I want Zatima engaged. Do not confuse my opinion. I do want them engaged, but a couple things, the math wasn't mathing to me. Thank y'all so much for watching. I will see y'all next week because we're going to be back with All American Homecoming, Sisters, and Zatima. We're going to do it all over again. So I hope y'all have a wonderful and safe weekend. Bye, y'all.